Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated. I want to see how long the podcast can go without me saying anything. This is an experimental intro.
Just let him talk.
Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah. I'm Thanks.
Thanks?
Yeah.
I'm
Brian.
I'm your welcome. Brian what?
Brian Elmquist.
Brian Elmquist.
Kanene Pipkin.
Kanene Pipkin.
Pipkin. Or Pimpkin, as someone called it the other
Pimpin.
day.
I call her
Kanene Pimpin.
I call her Pimpkin.
Pimpkin.
I met someone the other day. I was like, my name is Kanene. And he was like, what's your name? Kiki? And I was like, yeah.
Kanene. Where did that name come from?
It's my great-grandma's nickname.
Wow. And they just said, let's make that your main name.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. You must have had fun parents.
They're wild.
Okay.
They're pretty wacky.
Yeah.
My brothers are Mike and John, though, so I got the short end of the creativity stick.
Older or younger?
I'm in between the two.
Oh, okay.
Zach Williams.
Zach Williams. And
Most
you guys
normal name.
are the
Zach with a
Lone
K.
Bellow.
Yeah.
Lone Bellow.
Why so
Brian,
alone?
Brian
guys?
Kanene, and Zach.
Lone Bellow.
It's like Lone Ranger. It's like, you know.
You had a
What a sound.
different name originally.
Yeah,
right?
it was like your name.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That was a long time ago. It was just my name and the Bellow.
And the Bellow?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so far away from everybody.
Yeah, well, it's the small stage.
So what's going on? The new album sounds rad.
Thank
Dude,
you.
thanks.
Out
Yeah.
today.
Just,
It,
came
Is it out today?
This
Yeah,
morning.
today.
Dropped
Wow,
on this earth
congratulations.
today.
Is
Yeah,
it
because-
number one yet?
When I was listening
Sure.
to it, yeah,
Me
it
forever.
came up like all like gray titles, and then it went black. I don't know if that was because it just maybe, I don't know, probably not. It's probably my phone.
It was probably watching you.
Yeah.
That's like when the camera turned on. You didn't know it. And you were like,
Yeah. Which album number is this?
this is 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Lucky number 4.
Yeah, dude.
That's when Peter Gabriel went huge on number 4.
Really?
Yeah.
You were on
They
his
have a
label,
pretty
right?
similar
Yeah.
trajectory.
Dude.
Yeah. So you guys are set to explode
What was it
Dude,
like
I'll take that
releasing an
trajectory.
album like on a... It seemed like
on
you
a
were
world
like the
music.
only...
Yeah. Yeah, coming from Ohio. It was kind of
Whoa.
odd. But it was awesome. It was like surreal. It was kind of like this. It was just like a surreal landscape. It was just, I was working at Clark Music, and is this me getting interviewed now?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yep.
No, I was working at Clark. I was
ask
working.
the question,
I
you
was
gotta
working at
answer.
Clark Music in Atlanta, and going from there to then all of a sudden being in a studio with like Brian Eno is there and like Chad Blake. I mean, because
Wow.
I went to the first time I went there was the recording week, where so many musicians from around the world come, and Joe Strummer was there, and Carl Wallinger from World Party, and families from India, musicians, all just crazy amounts of musical.
Vernon Reed.
Yeah, Vernon Reed was there. Johnny Depp and Kate Moss came through, so it was honestly like, and that was my first
And them.
intro
course they
into.
were.
What was Johnny Depp wearing?
He was looking killer. By the way, did you hear did you hear the release of the new Amber Heard Johnny Depp tape
No.
that came out?
No.
That's an interesting rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if we want to get into it here, but
Not yet.
if you're familiar with MPD abuse, it's definitely wow.
Speaking of rabbit holes, this
Yeah.
is beautiful.
Thank you.
I was like so stunning.
This is like
It's the
what
most
I would
beautiful rabbit
imagine
hole I've ever
a
been
rabbit
in.
hole in my mind looking like.
this is what my mind looks like when I'm thinking in the morning with coffee.
Yeah.
We're at Photographiska, where Joe has a residency / takeover.
Yeah, I'm doing an inhabiting show here where I'm just painting and inviting people into the process. That's the idea.
Well, where are you from in Ohio?
Akron,
All right.
the Liverpool of America.
Isn't Lone Bellow
Basically.
from there?
Well, I'll tell you what. The Black Keys went to my high school.
Hey.
LeBron James is from there.
Okay.
Chrissy
King
Hine,
James.
Okay.
Devo. I can go on. Rachel Sweet. Guided by Voices
You
just
never
down the
mentioned
road.
Bow Wow. Is he from there too?
I don't know.
I know he's from
I'll
Ohio.
Google that. I'll Google that.
Google that.
Well, the
That's
guys,
a good addition to the list.
the guy that produced the record is from Ohio. They're
That's
Ohio
so
people.
fucking funny because I was just about to ask you who produced the record because it's a big production.
Yeah.
You guys went heavy on that one.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had fun.
Yeah.
A lot of rabbit holes.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Aaron Dessner from The National produced the record.
Okay.
And,
right on.
They all grew up together in Cincinnati.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're from Ohio. I just saw Matt at Sundance. I just played Sundance, and he was there doing solo stuff.
Dude, he's fun, but my favorite, I mean, Aaron's great too. My favorite member in the band is the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
He came to our show in Cincinnati, and he's the only one that stayed in Ohio.
Right.
Like, Aaron and his brother live in Paris now, and Matt's in L.A.
Uh-huh.
And it's Brian, right? Brian showed up, and he was like, I just took the shortest Uber drive ever. I think I took it half a block and got out of the car. And that was like the intro to, and he's so fun.
Yeah.
He's got such a killer energy, man. It was awesome.
That's cool. So how'd you guys start working with him?
With Aaron?
Yeah.
He lived in Ditmas, Brooklyn, and we were just across Prospect Park.
Yeah.
And he saw this video that we made a long time ago for this song called You Never Need Nobody, and liked it and had his people reach out to our manager. Then we found out we were neighbors. So I just like went down and had coffee with him and fell in love.
That's cool.
They're very happy now.
Head over heels.
Head over heels forever.
How long did the record take to make, and where'd you guys record it?
Recorded upstate
Where?
in Stuyvesant. It's close to Hudson.
Okay,
Near
like near
upstate.
Catskill or something, or
Right in that area.
Below,
Yeah.
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 Closer than Catskills.
We spent like, I don't know, it was like almost like
Long time.
We
2 or
lived
3
there.
weeks combined, like
Yeah.
living in the studio with him.
It was
So,
fun. We'd fall asleep to the sound of coyotes outside. It was creepy.
did you microdose?
Dude. We didn't even need to. I mean, I'll just speak for myself. I don't know. I don't keep up with everybody.
You'd never know if they were.
No, I wouldn't.
What are we microdosing?
Super micro. Super micro.
But so, like, what do you guys do in terms of like creativity in the studio? Is it like 12-hour days? Is it, or like, you know, do you guys go all night sometimes, or do you guys keep it between the lines and do like, no, we're doing this from 9 to 6 and then dinner and then we?
This
Watch
one was
TV.
fun because we slept there and woke up there.
It's
Yeah, like,
just full immersion.
It was a cool process because we usually go in. We have in the past, so we played everything live and then build off that.
Yeah.
We really wanted to go from the ground with our vocals.
Oh, okay.
And so like a lot of the songs just started with a hum, and Aaron would like make a beat and we'd just build it from there. And then when it was compelling that way, we kind of started adding other things. And that's when we invited JT
Yeah.
Bates in and Josh Kaufman, who has an incredible project out right now, Bonnie Lighthorse. Men.
Bonnie Light Horseman.
And so it's just like we just tried to invite as many people in the process, and not hold anything too precious and just see where it went. And it was a beautiful process because we just let ourselves go for
That's
a couple
nice.
weeks. So we've never done it.
Were
that
you
way.
writing in the studio as well, or did the songs already exist?
A lot of the songs were there, and then in the mornings we would like all kind of like go work on what we were kind of gonna be doing for the day. And there were some songs that were rewritten in the process, and one song got brutally hacked, cannibalized into another song that's one of my favorite songs we have recorded. It's called "Friends" on the new record.
Oh, okay.
It's a great poem about grabbing your friends and doing awesome things. But
What are the lyrics?
I tell you, he wrote them.
I got some friends with trouble sleeping. A full moon howling like a beast. They fall in line with what their instincts tell them. To make it worth the hurt they're feeling. Like spirits in the night we walk among the winter shadows lost, and fill these cozy bars with talk of what we need and what we've lost. And then the chorus is
Did you say cozy bars?
yeah.
Word.
And
I like that.
And then
That's dope.
and then the chorus is the new chorus. The old chorus was gonna be like, I got some friends. And Aaron
That would be a hit.
I know. And Aaron,
He wouldn't do it.
Aaron
Don't
kept
change
making
it,
fun of
dude.
it. Aaron would like, Aaron's house is is like a 5-minute walk from the studio.
Yeah.
So he'd walk in all cozy with his coffee, and he'd be like, I got some friends. I'd be like, okay, if you're going to do that, you're going to kill it.
Right.
He killed it.
He killed it.
And then, so the new chorus was awaken up to this just like I knew I would. I know the work is hard. I know the struggle's good. I guess it all didn't work out quite like we thought it would. So it's like a juxtaposition.
That's good, but
that big word
I'm kind of still stuck with I got some friends.
You got some friends.
Especially if you sing it that
I
way.
got some friends.
It's fun because
You can do that in the live version.
I will.
Yeah.
Let's
So-
do it.
The
Yeah,
remix.
the lyrics are kind of like heavy, but it sounds like hey ya. So
Oh, really?
I'm
Yeah.
really into it. It's
Oh,
really
that's cool.
fun, like backbeat, and everything's like a party. But it's
Yeah.
really like the Paul Simon, like
Yeah.
put a beat behind it and sing some heavy lyrics. It's really
Right.
fun.
And many lyrics.
Many lyrics.
Yeah.
That's Zach's.
It does
Calling
sound,
card.
It sounds live. Like it sounds like it captures like a live band experience to a certain degree.
It was fun. It definitely captured that like collaboration
Yeah.
in a really amazing way. John Lowe, the engineer, is incredible, and I love working with him. He just has this like quiet meekness about how he works.
Right.
Just like led by kindness. And then to have somebody in the room that's like the engineer talk that way,
Mm-hmm.
it just changes the whole vibe of the room for me.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's just really like, he's soft spoken, but he's really intentional with the words that he decides to say. And I don't know, he just has a way of like quietly guiding the ship. And then Aaron would be like in La La Land doing Lord knows what, and it would all like come together. And they've been working together like that for like a decade. We made another record with them a few years ago, and then they made that Big Red Machine record with Justin Vernon and Aaron Dessner, and it blew us away. We were like, can we make another record with you? I was like, yeah.
They're literally at the top of their game. I don't think
Oh, yeah?
they can do anything wrong right now.
Why?
Just sitting with him and seeing how his brain works and getting like you get little trap door into his brain while he's working. It's just they're just in this. It's a whole nother dimension almost. It's so fun to watch.
Like, what do you mean though by that? Another dimension? They're just killing
They're just
it.
building,
right now.
just building these.
They're just on fire.
They're
right
just on
now.
fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. And
There's like no rules that they follow.
no rules. It's
Really?
all
No.
just in the ether.
Scared me to death.
It's so awesome.
Sessions with their pants off type of shit, or
No, I mean like musically. Everybody stayed.
That was more the
No
the
rules
stories I
here.
heard about Big
What
Red
do you-
Machine.
It's like Outback
recording.
Steakhouse.
what? Like Outback? Outback's terrible.
Like a blooming onion.
No rules, just right.
Oh, really? Is that their thing?
Yeah. You should give it another shot, man.
Maybe. Okay.
Like seeing the vibe that you're living in right now, I
Yeah.
think you'd really dig the new Outback Steakhouse.
What was something you're used to doing in the studio that they did completely different that kind of like threw you off?
Yeah. The vocals. Usually we sing these like big, high, soaring things, and that's like our MO. And Aaron was like, that has become your crutch. And he was always like, I'm clipping the eagle's wings. So
That's great.
the melodies that he had us sing are like down here.
Mm.
And he's like, we're going to express the emotion that's in your mind and your heart different this time.
I love that.
It was
That's
very,
hard
yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
That's hard to do, to let go of your tricks, because it's weird when your tricks become your like the prison.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
or like they just become
Becomes
your
the shtick.
it
Yeah.
becomes your go-to. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm dealing with that with painting. You know, like I actually was just checking out this painter yesterday, and he was talking about just that. Like, and this other painter was talking about you should just start painting with your left hand. You know, stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. You know. Yeah, but it's an interesting concept. It's really cool. So was that when you guys started doing that? What was that like? Did it freak you out at first? There must have been growing pains. There must have been like, wait, this
super
sucked.
scary.
Can we go back to being like doing the
Trying
thing?
to hide how afraid I was from everybody because I didn't want to mess up the other creative things happening.
I loved it. I was like, finally, I don't have to sing at the top of my register 100% of the time.
I think it was
Right.
super intentional because we wanted a record that was more invite you into the like almost part of the process instead of like you're a spectator and these guys are just singing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted you to feel like you were on like a drive with the record and you were having a conversation with somebody. You know, like
Right. More conversational.
yeah.
But was there like points when you thought like, okay, I want to go back to the way it was before, or to use some tricks, or like, what
especially
was
with
like?
that song Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the chorus. Well, the whole song is just like steady all the way through. We've never done that before. We've always had like quiet, then boom.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Right.
So halfway through recording that, I was like, maybe I'll sing some big notes on top.
Right.
And he was like, no. I was like,
But there was a couple songs we knew we'd go for.
Yeah.
Like, I think Good Times was the fastest one recorded, and we just like, Aaron was like, just go. And we had a ball. And it definitely needed us to do what we
Are comfortable.
are
doing.
comfortable. So I think we recorded it. The main thing was done in like 2 hours.
Right.
It was so crazy. It was the only one that was like that. But
Yeah, but when you challenge yourself and do something different, then you can go back to the old vibe for a second, and then it becomes more dynamic, and it's cool.
yeah.
and you can test it too.
Yeah.
Like, what's the motives here? Am I being led by fear and I just want to do the old thing? Or is it actually what the song needs? Like,
Right. And are you happy with the results in retrospect of listening to ones where you didn't do those tricks? Like where do you
Dude.
feel like there's more power to it?
so happy, so
Really?
grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Why is that?
Because I don't think I would have made that decision on my own. I needed another human to help me.
Right.
And I'm just
And what
grateful
are
for
you
that.
hearing in it that is more satisfying to you?
I think that it ended up bringing out a certain level of humanity
Okay.
that's in this range of singing
Mm-hmm.
rather than like showmanship.
Right.
Yeah,
'Cause when we
there's
go
more
on tour-
vulnerability, I think.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, let me impress you
Mm-hmm.
Right.
with how loud and high I can sing.
Look what I can do.
I was,
Yeah.
I was even feeling it. We played Rockwood where we did our first record and everything
Uh-huh.
last night, and I was feeling it. We were just standing up there, and we were just ourselves. And I think we finally, and it's a journey, but I think the record is us without having to put all this stuff. It's like there's songs where it's just like Zach just enemies. He just played the song, and then we build everything around it.
Yeah.
It's just like we didn't try to like do something because we thought we had to.
Right.
We did. It was intentional, and it's fun, and it feels like us. you
Right
know?
on. That's cool. Where'd you grow up?
Georgia.
Georgia? What part?
South of Athens. You wouldn't know. Sandersville, Georgia.
I wouldn't know. I lived in Georgia. But Clark Music, when I was telling you about the Peter Gabriel thing, that was in Atlanta.
That's in Atlanta.
I
But
used
part
to.
of Atlanta?
I lived in Atlanta.
he's from Atlanta.
Oh, really?
No, I'm from Ackworth.
I.
I can't claim it in Atlanta. I didn't even go there till I was like 18, except for Braves games.
Oh, really? I lived in Little 5 Points.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
dude,
man.
You know? Yeah, for like that was my first adult place to live.
Dude, I used to go. What was that smelly place that sold all the old clothes?
Yeah, Junkman's Daughter.
Yeah.
They had a great shoe
I used
spot
to go there
too.
like in high school, just
Uh-huh.
like be kind of scared.
All the like the fake punk rock shit going on.
It's great. I didn't know any better. I was in high school. I was just like, whoa, where's the Outback?
CBGB's T-shirt.
Which way to the Cheesecake Factory?
Which way? They don't even have an Olive Garden around here.
How do they? Where's the all you can eat stuff?
That's hysterical. So you grew up in Georgia? What part?
Sandersville, Georgia. It's a very
Sandersville?
small town.
South of Athens?
Yeah, like straight down south, about an hour and a half, something like that.
Oh, okay.
In the middle of nowhere.
And were you an REM fan or?
Everybody
Yeah.
was REM fan.
Yeah,
from
everybody,
Georgia, right?
Even if you weren't, you were pretty much.
I know
Georgia.
everybody. It's like I remember those bands breaking when we were young, or Outkast or something like that.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, Outkast was on the video, and they're like #1 in the nation. It's like we've known them forever, and we're so
Right.
proud of them. It was like our band, you know.
Yeah.
REM was the same way.
Did you hear that new Andre 3000 thing with Rick Rubin, that podcast?
No.
Oh, it's fucking great. Oh, man, no, it's great.
I was happy to see him on Anderson .Paak, who was one of the best. He's incredible. But like, seeing Andre 3000 on a track, I was like, oh.
His line was so wonderful. Like his chorus or whatever you call it was so wonderful too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, he's like, he was talking about being kind of artistically stuck on that podcast, or just like overthinking things, or just writing little fragments. And it's like, when a guy like that talented, I mean, he's like Prince level talented, really. And it's like, when he is struggling, it kind of, I don't know, it's sort of inspiring if you're an artist and you're like, wherever you are in the mix of getting something done, it's not that easy. Like even geniuses like him struggle to like figure it out. Sometimes they get in their own way, or I'm not trying to like act like I know what his deal is, but that podcast is super interesting and inspiring.
Is it the one that Rick Rubin does with Malcolm Gladwell?
Yeah. Although Malcolm Gladwell's never on it. That's the thing that confuses me.
He's got a lot of other stuff
It
going on.
It feels like it's like Malcolm Gladwell, but it's always just Rick talking to somebody else. I'm like, what is Malcolm, like the spirit guide to this?
It's
or what?
Broken Record, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then where'd you go from Georgia?
I played football for a year.
In college?
In college in Virginia.
You did? Damn, dude.
Yeah, and then
That's when we met.
Oh, you went to college there?
Yeah.
And
in Virginia?
Yeah.
And then I went to Nashville because I wrote a couple songs, and I didn't want to spend any more money and not know what I wanted to do in college. So I started there, and he went back and finished school in Florida. But I mean, we've been friends for 20 years. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
When I first met him, him and his girlfriend had both broken their feet, but it was like opposite feet, so they would like hobble around together.
That's cute.
All over campus.
Did you guys do that on purpose?
No, man, it was hard because I broke my ankle. I broke my ankle in football, and that when you first met me, I was singing "I'll Be" at an
Outback. Oh yeah.
We better get some Outback sponsorship.
What do you call it? A talent show or something?
Yeah, open
and my
mic
guitar broke. And there was like 1,000 people there because it was like a school thing, and I like put the guitar down, and I was like a football player and sang it with a broken foot. But then later it snowed and she broke her foot.
You sang a cappella?
Yeah, "I'll Be," dude.
Really?
Edwin McCain.
Give us a taste.
Give us
No.
a taste. Do it. Come on, dude.
Do
it.
I can only do the saxophone thing right now with my voice.
I want to hear you sing, though. Your voice is great.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
No.
Just sing it.
Don't tell. Nobody puts baby in a corner. I respect that.
Our thousands of listeners are disappointed.
Oh, man. We'll sing later. Let me talk a little bit more.
Okay, so
Sorry
you guys
about that.
met in... No, I'm just messing around. But your voice is great, and I like your accent.
Thanks,
don't go changing.
No, I don't. I've lived in New York for 10 years, and I still have this accent, so
It's
I'm not gonna
good.
be changing.
Yeah.
You're onto something, Brian.
Hey, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Mhm.
Okay.
Civil War town.
Civil War town.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that like?
Not currently, but back in the day.
Maybe. Might go back
Still
there.
the site of many a reenactment. What was it like?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a pretty suburban existence.
But with some wild parents.
Yeah, my parents aren't from there. My
Oh.
mom had a very potent contempt for the South.
Really?
Which she did not keep secret. Yeah.
She picked a funny place to live.
Yeah. Well, my dad worked in D.C. and
Right,
so
right.
it was like kind of a commuter
yeah.
town. It's a long commute, but
No, I feel you. Yeah.
but yeah, he kind of took us out there. My dad's from Boston. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not really like southern people, but I love Virginia. It's such a beautiful place filled with a lot of weirdos
Mm-hmm.
and ghosts.
And you were cooking pastries and then moved to China or something, right?
Yeah, well, reverse.
You moved to China
studied-
then cook pastries?
Yeah, I don't know. You know.
In an Outback Steakhouse?
Yeah. I have fried many a bloomin' onion. No. Can do it in my sleep.
Now they have to sponsor
Have you ever heard
us,
of
Joe.
brownie a la mode?
Have you ever heard of unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks? I did the breadsticks.
Now we're crossing Olive Garden territory.
As we should. Now I went to school for linguistics and studied Chinese and moved to Beijing because that seemed like a good idea. And
Yeah.
then my husband, who had actually met when I was in middle school at a spelling bee.
Really?
That's a cool place to meet and
Your husband?
fall in love. We reconnected over in China, and that's where we started dating. So I moved there after I graduated, and then...
Wait, hold on. You randomly reconnected in China?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. This is like a movie. Like, what are you doing here in Beijing?
We had...
Came to eat pastries
like-
at the Outback Steakhouse.
He's like, the strands in your eyes.
We got him. He said
It would be perfect for a TV, a Hallmark TV movie. They meet in China, and it's like, and I'll be.
Please tell me you met at the Great Wall.
No.
Walking in it, like opposite, or
They made
like
a
walking
restaurant called the Great
I
Wall.
had a noodle in my chopsticks, and he had the same noodle in his
Yeah.
chopsticks, and no, we weren't like strangers, but we kind of both ended up there, and so
Right.
it kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to see some aspects of him that I wouldn't have seen just if we were still in Virginia, you know.
Well, I don't know much, but I know one of y'all is a stalker. I don't know which.
A stalker. Oh,
I'm just kidding, because I'm just saying one of
What
y'all
did he
followed
do
the
for
other.
a
I was like,
living?
whoa.
No, I'm just joking.
What's that?
What did he do for a living?
So he had moved there. He was a Chinese and East Asian studies major, and also a musician. And he's in the band and writes and plays with us. And we both were just kind of like, what do you do after college? I don't know. If you're studying a language, I guess you just move there. So we both kind of haplessly ended up there.
Something's going with the signal,
that's
homie.
my
Ruh-roh.
So, but you say you like learned different aspects of him because he was in China?
Totally, yeah.
Like what?
He's a quiet person, and
Mhm.
my family is like loud and
Intimidating?
I guess if we all roll up together,
Yeah, dude.
people, it's like a sideshow.
Really?
Or maybe it's the whole show. I don't know. It
It's
can
the
be
whole
it can be kind of overwhelming.
I think it's the whole show.
So he's like a quiet, thoughtful, more internal person,
Mhm.
and I think I just thought he was maybe too shy.
Mm.
And then when we got over there, it was like the most ridiculous summer of my life, and all of these crazy things happened. And I just got to see all of these strengths and different, colors of his personality that when you put them against a different backdrop, they start to pop, and you can see them.
Oh, that's cool.
If you grow up with somebody, you fall into that trap of thinking you know everything about them.
Taken for granted
Yeah.
in a way. What crazy things happen?
Oh man, I ended up in a hospital in Tibet.
Wow.
I had some sort of like mysterious infection,
Okay.
and then my Chinese wasn't very good at the point, so I still have no idea what happened, but it was scary. And he kind of helped me through that, and then we had a friend who's, you all right? Okay.
He's good. He's good.
Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
We had a friend who got hit by a motorcycle. We were all biking to dinner
Uh-huh.
from a study break, and he got hit by a motorcycle, had a traumatic brain injury.
Wow.
The guys fled the scene. The ambulance didn't show up for like an hour. There was a huge crowd of people like yelling at us, telling us to like go find the guys, and like finally the ambulance came, but there weren't any like EMTs in it. It was just it was crazy. So it was like this long all night thing of just trying to make sure my friend didn't die. And I mean, it was super bad. Like,
Right.
it was pretty miraculous that he survived without any long-term damage. But Jason, my husband, just he was so steady and
On point.
just like composed and all
Yeah.
of that. It was, yeah.
And you were like, damn, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
Homie's keeping
you
it
can
together.
handle yourself. Okay.
Okay.
I love it. You can handle
All
it.
right.
Was there a guy that you had a crush on that was like totally freaking out at the same time?
Every guy has a crush on her.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, man.
If there was like, all right, Brad, you're out. Jason,
You're
the
in,
king.
coach.
I mean, it was college, so there were...
No more Brads and Chads.
People are all trying to scheme, but
Uh-huh.
I like to pretend I was kind of oblivious to it all.
Uh-oh.
Don't you all? Don't you all?
I wasn't about that life.
What about you? What was your trajectory like after? So you grew up in Atlanta?
I grew up in Ackworth, which is
Ackworth, right.
like 40 minutes north of Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
Just simple town, simple upbringing.
Yeah. What do your folks do?
real estate.
Oh, okay.
Like small town real estate.
Yeah.
My grandparents did it.
Yeah.
It was like a whole thing.
Right.
And my wife and I grew up together. We've been like best buddies since we were 12.
Wow. What is going on with you guys in
Yeah.
like
It's
the South,
childhood?
man.
It's just like,
Just like 3 Hallmark movies over here.
yeah. That's weird.
She was super manipulative. My parents hated her and
Really?
absolutely ruined my brain for a decade at least.
Really?
Maybe even more. Maybe now. Maybe my brain's still ruined now. But everybody needs a muse.
Yeah. Tell that to Johnny Depp. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. No.
Dude, Johnny Depp.
No.
He was a very important part of my upbringing too.
Yeah.
You know?
21
What's
Jump
Eating Gilbert
Street?
Grape?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Benny and June. Remember that movie?
for
So-
me, it's dark, but like when it was like him and River Phoenix and the whole thing that happened,
Yeah.
I was like, that can happen? Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got married too young, and I didn't play music or anything. And we had like this kind of eye-opening event happen where she broke her neck and was
Right.
quadriplegic for a while, and that's where I started writing, was in the hospital. And I would go to this
That's wild.
I'd go to this open mic, and then I learned how to play the guitar and sing at the same time, and I would just scream at these strangers drinking peppermint lattes,
Mhm.
just bawling, crying. And that's like where my
Still does it.
yeah.
That's what I've done for years. Screaming at strangers. I love it.
Yeah. That's where my love for
That's the name of your solo record. Screaming
Screaming
at
for strangers.
Yeah.
There's one in Times Square. Yeah.
So
How's your peppermint latte? Like not screaming mean stuff. Like
Right.
just empty questions.
Small talk.
How's your day going?
try the cheesecake.
Cake pops are really good.
But how quick did you learn guitar? Like you were just like fucking around?
I was like one of those kids. Like when I was 14, I never stuck to anything. So I never like crossed the threshold of being able to play and sing at the same time. I would just like, I had this sweet Charvel, this electric guitar,
Sweet.
And,
I had a Charvel too.
dude.
Tony McAlpine.
I bought it off my guitar teacher, and he way overcharged me. Like
course
now
he
I
did.
know.
Right.
But he wanted it to have a more natural look, so he took all the paint off. So it was
Uh-huh.
like a natural wood Charvel with a black head, like the ugliest guitar
Possible.
you could imagine.
It looks like a stair.
How much did you pay for it?
Like $450.
He charged you full price.
full.
new out of the box, bro.
I think he even did like a payment plan since he was teaching me guitar.
That's
He just
fucked
like
up.
tapped it onto the. Yeah.
He saw you coming.
Yeah.
Wow.
He like,
He goes.
did you just leave the Olive Garden? Come here.
Yeah. He goes, wouldn't you? Don't you wish you could play this one that your teacher has?
He's like, here's the pentatonic scale. You go have fun. Yeah.
So the story, because that story is really famous. The story of how you started writing songs and weren't even a musician and started writing journal things that were poetry, and then somebody said, "Hey, write songs with
Yeah.
those." But so there was a little bit of a musical background before that.
Yeah, I grew up. I mean,
A shady guitar teacher and a Charvel.
shady guitar teacher, Charvel.
Crack the code.
I cracked the code.
Do you still have the Charvel?
I wish.
I wish
I
you
wish.
did.
It'd
I
be
think
so
I
hot.
sold it
Put
to
it on
my
the back
cousin for
cover.
like $475. And I wouldn't call that a famous story. Just a story. I'm at the point. Like, did you ever see I Heart Huckabees? Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah,
Don't
is,
remember.
is that like one of those Coen brothers?
Yeah.
No.
No,
No, it's not.
it's the one
I'm thinking of
about
Hudsucker
what's
Proxy.
that big, huge
Oh,
word?
that movie is so good.
Existential
Existential dread.
something. I don't know. Anyways, there's a scene where the guy tells the same story over and over,
Right.
and then he throws up
Yeah.
because of it. I'm right there.
No, I know. Well, that's the whole thing with these kind of like, because you have to frame all these things in stories, and people want, and then like the press wants, and then it's like put your bio, and then you make up a fucking bullshit paragraph.
Here you go.
And then that becomes like the thing that you have to rehash over and over and over again.
One thing that we did this time that I'm really thankful for is at the beginning, they were like, just write a paragraph about each song,
Right.
and we'll send it out.
Yeah.
So the interviews so far have been way better.
Right.
Because they're not like, how'd you get your band name?
Well, Ehud asked that right away.
Sorry.
I said they had a previous band.
Oh yeah. No.
and asked why were they so lonely, just to be funny. Why does the Bellow have to be alone, Joe?
Yeah.
Starbucks. I mean, all sorts of reasons.
So it's been better this time then. The
Yeah.
It was
interviews.
kind of an accident because we wrote it out for like some kind of like description thing, and then it led with the PR. Like everybody's reading it first, so
Right.
the songs are leading the story instead of like some random thing we came up with that was going on in our life,
Right.
which is a way more fun situation
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah,
talking
and
about
we
the
can-
songs and the music we made instead of like things that are going on peripherally. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And then we only talk about that stuff if we want to, instead of it being like,
You have
so.
to. Yeah.
I'm like,
I know. Yeah.
when did I become a robot?
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. When are you guys going to start touring? Are you on
Our
the road
first
right now?
two shows are at the Troubadour in LA next week.
Right.
And then
That's
it's like
great.
2 weeks off, and then we
End
like
of February we hit it.
jump in the bus and
Yeah.
go.
That's cool. Troubadour is great.
Oh, yeah.
I love playing there.
Dude,
I do
it's so
too.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
When where are you going after that? Where's the next part?
I
I
don't
think we
look.
start in Texas.
Texas?
Texas.
Doing
Kind of going up to
Texas
Vancouver.
and
We're
West
playing.
Coast.
What's the
I'm excited
Joshua
about that.
Tree.
Pappy and Harriet's. Yeah.
Pappy and Harriet's?
Oh,
We're
yeah.
playing
Yeah.
down
Joshua
there.
Tree.
I've never played there,
Dude,
but I love it.
We're gonna play the
I've been
Fillmore
there.
again in San Francisco. I'm really pumped about that.
That's great.
that's always had such
Oh,
a
gosh.
spirit-filled room, man.
It is.
We played there one time, and I had the terrible idea to like have everybody sit down on the floor because I wanted to just like experience something else, and I didn't realize like how gross that might be to some people. I don't care,
Yeah.
but it ended up being beautiful.
Did people all sit on the floor? Did
Yeah,
some
we all
people-
sat on the floor.
We took the mic out in the middle of the floor, and then Zach was like, "Everybody sit down." It was pretty cool.
It was fun.
The pictures from it looked awesome.
Right. So you started writing those songs, and then when did you think like? And then everybody moved to Brooklyn or something.
Yeah,
Like that? How
so-
did that happen?
So like, we made a promise. Like 10 of my best friends were like, "All right, if Stacy gets better,
Right.
let's all move to New York City." Because they were all like thespians and playwrights, and you know, I mean, nobody actually did it professionally, but you know what I mean. They all had that heart.
Yeah.
So then she miraculously got better, and we were like, "All right, we made that promise. Let's go."
Why? Where does that promise come from? Like, what's the origin of that promise? What was the idea behind that?
Just like stick togetherness.
Like life is short and like insecure, and nothing's guaranteed because of that, like the injury aspect of it. Like,
Yeah, that was definitely a part of it.
Right.
My best friend's dad just like had a heart attack randomly and passed away like
Mhm.
within that same time.
Mm.
So I think all of us were just like, whoa, okay, it would be really easy just to like go and get a job and start whatever we're supposed to do. Why don't we not and
Yeah.
move to New York and see what that's like? And they're all still here.
And when you all moved, did you all move together in a place, or?
Yeah, some of them live together. Stacy and I had already been married because
Uh-huh.
we got married too young.
Right.
So we got a place down on President Street and 7th Ave
Mm.
in Brooklyn. And then we all tried to move to the same neighborhood,
Mm.
which was South Slope, which at the time was cheap. It is
Right.
not anymore,
Right.
ever since that 30 Rock episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. It's probably my favorite part of being alive right now. The music and then like those lifelong friends.
Right. Or you guys are still connected?
Super duper.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. And are they pursuing their dreams and having success with it, or?
Yeah, some of them, like one of them, like was in like King and I and all this Broadway stuff, and another one, one of my son's namesakes, started this company called Chess at 3, and he like figured out how to teach kids chess at 3 years old.
Wow.
And it's really exciting.
Yeah. That is exciting.
Another one's been writing a book for like 15 years, and he needs to finish it, and we're all like, Caleb, finish it.
You're there, Caleb.
Won't.
Right.
Because he's a perfectionist. And he's smarter than he is.
Do you have any of those tendencies? Perfectionist. How do you overcome things like perfectionism and procrastination?
I don't. I have other struggles.
What's your struggle?
Being ostracized, being judged.
Who's ostracized you?
I don't know. Nobody. Just, that quiet scare that's in the back of your mind.
Oh, that you will be.
Yeah. What if I make something and it stamps my identity for the rest of my life accidentally? Yeah, you guys go ahead.
Does that go into your fear where you didn't want to do the vocals a certain way?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
In the back of your mind, what the audience will think or your fans.
Yeah. But I think with songwriting and stuff, like, I think of myself, like, those salamanders that live in the river and they, like, have these things on the side of their face and they catch food like that. They just wait for the food. Like, that's how I try to stay. And then when, like, a song idea comes, I just catch it. And then I have to finish it as quick as possible or I will never finish it. So it's like the opposite of perfectionism, maybe.
I'm like that.
Okay.
That's my way too. I
Okay.
gotta finish it like right away, and it's like first thought, and then if I go back in, I don't know. I don't really like labor over things for years usually. What about you guys? Do you guys have any issues with procrastination and perfectionism?
Yes.
I'm more like Zach. If it's a good song, I'll finish it in 30 minutes. And if I don't finish in 30 minutes, it'll get there, but it usually takes years. Like if it's worth it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I once heard there's like two major types of creatives. It's like a Picasso and a Chagall, and Picasso just like made things all the time. It was like a steady stream.
Yeah.
And Chagall did not, like, only made a few things and would labor over them forever. So I'm trying to get out of that mindset because I like revisiting things and trying to tinker with them and make them better. But I'm trying to like get over the things that are unhealthy about that, embrace what is good, but also like try to get better at trusting my gut a little bit more.
How are you doing that?
I don't know, reading some Brené Brown right now.
I'm into Brené Brown.
Oh my God.
You came to the right place. The power of vulnerability.
Yeah, well, she talks about perfectionism and how it's like it can be rooted in shame and like
toxic shame.
Yeah, so
Boom.
interesting.
And
I'd
that
never
also,
heard it.
The ostracization shit is all rooted in social shame, fear, and toxic shame.
Does everything come down to shame?
Pretty much, man. It's a shame, but yeah.
It's a shame.
What do you mean by that? I think a lot of it does.
I feel like you can boil, at least for me, a lot of things, the fears, and even one, like, I think I struggle more with like wanting to move on to the next thing and not and being. It's almost in the shame spot there too, because it's like I'm too afraid to be so vulnerable. So like I'd rather not have to like pick apart something that really hurt, like a song we wrote or something like that really hurt when I wrote it. Or I'd rather not pick apart. I'd rather go to the next thing. I'd rather just move on instead of like sitting with it sometimes.
Right.
So, but it's the same thing as Zach feels like. If he doesn't do something right and somebody else sees him, then that's what they're going to think of him the rest of the time. And like, I don't know. I went through some stuff myself, like with addiction, and I always thought like if I tell people no, and this like that, and I like the people think I'm weird and all this stuff. Nobody gives a crap.
Nobody.
Nobody's thinking about it.
No.
Nobody's thinking about you, and you don't know that because you're living in your own little universe in your head.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, that was kind of the freest thing when I kind of realized that nobody's really thinking about me. And I was telling you that when we started. Like I was like, besides my friends and my family, if I kind of like just quietly in the night, nobody knows I was here, I'd actually be okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It puts too much pressure on you when you think yourself bigger than you actually are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's the ego is not our amigo.
No. I got so many sayings for you today, dude. The ego is not our amigo.
You know?
Dude,
like,
you need to paint that on the
How
wall.
is that not in the Big Lebowski? Calmer than you are, dude.
or easing God out. That's
Dude.
the other thing for ego.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
Or fear, like fuck everything and run. Those are like some AA type shits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the addiction things too. Yeah. That's cool. Brene Brown, I love her. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like about like, the power of vulnerability, like how it takes courage to be vulnerable.
Yeah, and basically just having to believe that you're just worth a whole life, you know, that you can have a sense of your worthiness that is just intrinsic. Like I heard someone talk about little kids, and little kids before they reach like the age of like 5 or 6 usually have this thing that they call the awesome. And you know when a kid will just burst into the room and be like ta-da, and you know they just like are feeling themselves and everything they do. And some kids have it more than others. My niece Margot is like, oh my God, she is just like the biggest ham, and you can just tell she like loves lighting the room up, and she does it so effortlessly.
Yeah.
And then there's like reaches that point in a kid's life where they start to like learn shame.
Right.
And then the awesome, it fades.
Starts fading. Yeah.
Shame monster.
The shame monster.
Yeah,
Dude,
from
our
Big
friend
Mouth.
We've watched
Isn't
a lot
it
of
the
Big
Shame Wizard?
The Shame Wizard.
The Shame Wizard.
I mean, the shame wizard or
wow.
whatever. It's gonna.
Matt Morris
It's inherent in this world. There's no way those lights aren't gonna go out in your eyes. I think.
Yeah.
The
Aren't we
thing.
fighting it though?
Yeah, but the thing is being able to like reignite the lights. You know, and that's what you got to figure out how to do. You know,
Yeah.
so like, what do you do? What have you done in your life to like reignite the lights?
We got a song on this record that's like that subject matter called Wonder, and it's like us saying that to ourselves basically.
How does that go?
I'm sipping on cheap coffee, listening to Graceland,
Nice.
wondering if you'll write me, wondering why my
like.
life is like that sad old country song that our families used to hum to, and I'm working on a letter that I would never send you.
Oh yeah.
I'm riding in your pickup on our way to Bedlam, taking in the moonlight, waiting for the rain to come and crash down on our arms, and we won't roll the windows up as it stoned me stamps the street line, that memory of us. And then the chorus
That's
is,
great.
I've taken every back road I probably shouldn't take. I've wasted all my time and let time waste away my days. Should I let go of the wonder? Should I let go of the wonder?
Wow.
So it's just
that's
like
giving me chills.
trying
that's
to-
like track 2 on the record. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like trying to hold on to your childhood thing. But I like what you just said. It was like reigniting it.
Yeah, it's gonna go out.
It's going to go
This
out.
world was gonna take it out, whether it's like from toxic family shit or whatever it is. It's like, if you surpass that, you know, I don't know. Maybe some people have an easy road. I don't think anybody does that.
And it's like kind of a bummer to be like, it was right when I was a child, so I just got to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Dude, what
Boring?
did Bob Dylan
Nah.
say in that?
Well, it's
that
like
thing
we're all on heroes' journeys. Go ahead.
Bob Dylan said, "You don't find yourself, you create yourself."
Oh yeah, that's good.
You know, and I love that. It like literally like switched something in my brain when I
Right.
heard him say that. And I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
wow. Oh yeah, let's do that today.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
other one he says is you know the lyric "You're busy being born or you're busy dying." That's a big one for me because there is no neutral in this world.
Oh, yeah.
At all. There's no neutral. You can have like a neutral day, maybe 2. Past that, you're either going up or you're going down.
I do the same thing. I say every day, is my world getting bigger or smaller? And
Right.
and I'm fighting against that situation.
And it's like,
But you can ignite that light just like taking a little like walk. You don't need to like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just practicing gratitude. Clearing your mind.
Big time.
Exactly.
Being present.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why my name's Thanks today.
that's why I love that. Yeah. So like, I do that by going to yoga. I went to yoga this morning. I go to yoga every day. Boxing and running helps me a lot too to keep that alive. What do you guys do to help keep that light alive?
Running for me.
Yeah.
I should do yoga because I can tell like I need to stretch more.
It's so, dude. Once you start getting into it, you can't go without it.
You got to figure out like a road thing. I
yoga
do
would be
love,
a good road thing too.
I do love running on the road because you play a show and you can go on a run and run around the whole town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you like take in
take
something.
It in. Yeah.
And by the time you hit the stage, you're already like prepared to open yourself up to like, what do I need to learn from this time here with these people?
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that.
And how much better do you sing when you've done a run? Right? I sing better.
Really?
Oh, fuck yeah, for sure. I feel it.
I don't know.
Depends if you drink enough water afterward.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
So you've been running a while.
Yeah.
Did you ever read Born to Run?
No.
Ooh.
Not the Bruce Springsteen thing. The one about like the Mexican tribe that runs. Like what were you saying?
It's about like the barefoot running.
Barefoot running. Yeah, I got barefoot running shoes.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I run barefoot. Sometimes.
That's dope.
Not all the time, but
I did that when I first moved to Brooklyn, and then
one of our friends tried to do that.
I got the Vibrant.
I had those too.
I have 3 pair. I'm obsessed with those.
I had those too. Man, they got the weirdest looks.
I know they're fun as hell though.
Yeah, they are fun.
Yeah.
One of our friends tried to like.
He never ran.
He never ran before and tried to do the note, and he broke. What did he break?
He did a 3.5 mile run around Prospect Park in those shoes.
Oh, thanks.
Just suddenly.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
It'll look good actually if it goes in.
He did what in Prospect Park?
He went from not running ever to a 3.5 mile run around the Prospect Park loop in those shoes.
Oh, really?
He broke his shin.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
That's a fucking mistake. I'll tell you that because I can run a lot in normal running shoes, but when I first got those, I spent like a month building it up. And the first thing that happens is your calves and get so sore. It's insane because you got to run all gazelle-like. You got to run. You can't heel strike.
Yeah.
You got to run gazelle-like. And so what the idea is that you're protecting your knees and your hips and your spine because you're not like on.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing what your feet are designed to do, which is they're like sensitive and like, you know, like they're actually a genius design. You know. So you stop the Vibrant. It does seem to be like a little bit of a phase, the Vibrant thing.
Yeah, I can't remember why I stopped, but I do remember my calves were
killing
sick.
It. Right? Then your calves, you were just like walking down the street going, ka-ching, ka-ching.
I like couldn't wear tall boots. It was like
I know. Yeah.
It was like another hamstring down there.
Yeah, I know. I love. My calves are crazy right now from that shit.
No, I more do like yoga and lifting now.
Oh,
like
lifting.
Trying to focus on getting strong.
That's
strong
cool.
As I can.
Yeah.
And it was really like running on the road, being in the van all day, and then like running right out of the van that just like messed up my hips.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have to be careful now
about
running, but I still love running.
Do you go to a yoga studio, or do you do it?
I belong to the YMCA.
Nice.
And go there, but try to do it at home too, and. On the road, try to find hot yoga classes, especially.
I love hot yoga. I go to Moto.
Oh yeah, is it good? I've never been.
Yeah, it's great. I go every single day. I fucking love it.
Hot yoga is so addictive.
I go multiple times a day because I am an addict straight up.
It is.
It's
so good though.
It's probably going right after this again.
No, I'm not gonna go again.
I need to get into it.
I gotta paint. You know?
That's something worth being addicted to,
dude.
Yeah,
it's you'll love it. What do you do? Do you do any kind of physical?
I mean, thing? I do. And the other day I woke up and I was feeling groggy, and I just went and ran, and I realized I was right by the Manhattan Bridge. So I went on a good one.
Nice.
It was a really awesome one. I forgot Manhattan Bridge, like, it feels like the 70s. Like I feel like I was in like
Balboa
I know.
Shit,
you got the chain link fence.
Yeah,
it looks like you might get murdered.
Like
it's awesome. It's so awesome.
That's so different than running the Brooklyn Bridge.
It's so different. Like running the Brooklyn Bridge, you want to murder.
No.
You don't want to do the other thing.
Yeah. No, because I lived in Brooklyn for so long, and I would ride my bike, and my boxing gym is closer to the Brooklyn Bridge, so I had to. Yeah, so the boxing gym's in Tribeca.
Oh,
Did you go to that old one that's downstairs?
No, I go to Trinity.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I would have to ride on the Brooklyn Bridge all the time, and there'd just be constantly people walking in the bike lane, and I used to like,
no, you gotta go
I used to be like, bike lane, like being like throwing a fit, you know. And then finally, I just realized like, there's new people walking in the bike lane every single day.
Yeah.
It's not ever going to be the same people. So just save your breath, dude. You're not going to and then I got all
change it.
You're not going to change it. So then I got all zen about it, and I never would say anything. I would just like
have a great day in New York, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the city. Didn't you run someone over?
Walk down there where the cars are.
Zach, didn't you run over somebody?
Accidentally.
Like
on a
on
run.
with his feet, not with a car.
Yeah. There's. How did that happen?
I don't remember, but it's like right when we were becoming friends, and I was like, I don't know what I'm signing up for with this guy.
Maybe it was a biker in the running lane. We just collided.
Oh.
We've both apologized, but you know your testosterone, so it's just like flying. You're just like, sorry,
Right.
No, okay.
Have you guys ever
This
thought
isn't how I
about
remember
doing
the story.
any kind of like running marathon type shit? Or
I want to do it so bad.
I've done one full with 3 of my siblings.
Damn.
We did the Disney marathon.
So you come from a super family.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I have a
3 siblings ran a marathon.
A
When does that
storied
happen?
lineage of weirdos. Well, it was 4 of us.
4?
And
one didn't.
my one most competitive brother didn't, because he was like, if I run a marathon, I will try to win, and I know I can't, and I will hurt myself. So he didn't run.
I
really
fucking relate to that. I relate to that. I feel like I'm a little bit like competitive, but my running times aren't that good. I'm not like Speedy Gonzalez up in there.
You got to be.
I mean,
it's
like,
so hard.
You run like, what is it, 4 something mile? The ones that
Talk
win.
more
So
about it, yeah.
they won like a 4 something mile. The ones that win, right?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's crazy. No, yeah.
I like playing basketball against a brother.
Yeah.
Because of
He's
that.
shorter than
He's
you
shorter.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a basketball game I put together in at the Y where we live, and when he comes, I talk way too much trash. I get under his skin. I love him to death, but he just lets me.
Because you know how to push his buttons.
It's bad.
Brian's also really sweaty, so he uses that as like a tool in his arsenal.
And I play basketball.
Me
like
too.
I
I
played
sweat
football.
like a weirdly amount.
Dude, hot yoga will.
Yeah, but I'm like the guy at the hot yoga thing where around me is like a puddle.
Oh, yeah,
and
like
nobody else.
They're like,
it's-
cartwheel your arms up, and it's just like.
It's like it's just, yeah.
Spray in the front of the
mirror
room.
in front of me is like. Yeah. What about spirituality? Do you guys like have faith? Like, you guys sing about faith sometimes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Do you have like kind of spiritual practices and stuff like that?
I'm trying for the first time ever. I'm trying to read through the Bible, the whole Bible.
Yeah, that's
in 1 year.
Yeah.
I've never done it before.
I've never done it either.
I'm like
I want to do that too.
37 days in.
Wow.
And there's some crazy stuff.
Talk about good inspiration too. Like I think Dylan got a lot of good ideas.
Really?
I think so. I don't know.
There's some stuff in the Old Testament that I'm just like, this is bad.
Bonkers.
This is not okay.
Right.
But I was raised in it. It's always been really important to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never read the whole thing. I'm like, that's dumb.
Me neither.
Let's
So
do
are
it.
you just going page like straight up like a normal book? Like
I do like 2 chapters of the New Testament, 2 chapters of the Old Testament, and like 1 psalm or proverb every day.
Wow.
Wait, I want to do this.
Is it a
Yeah.
guided thing?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
admirable.
it's guided?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It's like
So
There's
somebody's
like a-
making this up? Like there's a community of people doing this?
it's like decades old. There's like an old rhythm that you can do where it by the end of the year you'll have read through the whole Bible.
Okay, I want to get that information.
And you can start anytime.
I'd like
you know?
to I think I'd like to do that.
It's fun.
Yeah.
There's-
You're enjoying it?
I really am. I'm digging it.
And what are you learning?
A lot. I think it's piercing into like those quiet fears that we were talking about a little bit. I'm like starting to confront some things in my life that I just thought were a part of my personality that like my bandmates or my friends just should put up with, because that's just how I am. I'm starting to realize that they're actually like not okay things for me to say or act like.
Like what?
For instance, like, and I'm not making any promises, all right?
Yeah,
but I'm
You're
gonna
on the
try to
record,
do this
dude.
this
Hey
time
man,
around.
he's being a big guy right here.
No, he's being a big guy.
But like,
cut him some slack on
like
this one.
our last records, we would do stuff like this, and I would get crazy controlling and nervous, and my energy would be like pretty gnarly.
About like trying to control, make sure the perception is the way you want it to be.
And I'm trying to let that go.
And
I actually had a weird moment yesterday. It was really embarrassing, but then I was like, why was that embarrassing? We started doing sound check at Rockwood.
Mm-hmm.
I just started weeping.
Really?
Just singing that Wonder song.
Yeah.
Just started bawling my eyes out.
Right.
I was like, making everybody uncomfortable in here. I don't know. Something's happening inside.
You didn't make anybody uncomfortable is the thing.
Yeah, people love that, man.
All your friends ask you to do is what you can.
You
man.
seem very relaxed today. I mean, if I had, I would not know
Dude.
any of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
You're
We
about
walked
you.
into
Very
Rockwood.
chill.
So you're doing good.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a controlling energy, and I'd be sensitive to that. I'm kind of empathetic, so I feel like I'd be sensitive if I felt like energies and weirdnesses, and I'm not feeling that. I mean, you definitely got some intensity in your eyes.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I know there's a lot going on with you, but I
love that.
But that's not a bad thing,
Right on.
you know.
Man, we walked into Rockwood yesterday. I think the smell of it. We made our first record there.
Yeah, I was going to ask
It was
about
like-
that.
It was like
That's,
it was
you kind of famously
emotional.
made your first record there. That was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
so back in that first record, the how did the songwriting split? Because I've seen you guys once.
I hate this question.
Oh,
I just want to say that out
okay.
loud.
Hey, who'd ask the questions?
really
everybody
hard.
It's
hates?
not a
Yeah.
bad question.
That's his
Well, no,
job
'cause
in the podcast.
But I've
give
never-
I'll give
you know what?
I'll give
It's
you a
like
little
the brass
background.
tacks.
I'll give you a little background.
Okay.
Background on the question is, I knew of you guys. I never saw you guys live. I met Brian at the Cellar at City Winery. He did a session with me with Griffin House that he was playing
yeah.
with. Who's a great singer-songwriter. And then you guys played the winery a little bit after that, and I came to the show. And just from perception, I assumed like you were the lead singer, and they were parts of the band. And then Brian was taking leads, and I was like, oh, there's a lot more going on. And then I was curious, like, who writes? Is it all your lyrics, or does he bring stuff in?
I'll
How
answer
does-
this because
How
you
does
don't
that
like to answer.
dynamic work?
Do it.
Well, the thing is when we came in, Zach had gone through this thing where he wrote these incredible songs. Some of my favorite ones, "A Tree to Grow." He wrote "Green Eyes" in this time period, and I remember him talking to me. And this is a weird thing because we never meant to be a band, really. He said, "I got these new songs. I just want to I need somebody I trust to go through them with me." And we just started sitting down and singing them together. And I remember singing "Practicing Shoulda" and going up to Bar 4 and playing it and being like, man, that's real fun, because I knew what he was doing, but these songs were there was more to them. There's more heart, it's more honest, and and so I do with a lot of people around me, I just throw my heart into it because I just want to see it happen. I did not try to be in a band with them. And then Kanene came in. We sang at this one time at Rockwood. And we sang this song called "You Can Be All Kinds of Emotional," and it was, and something happened in my brain. It might have been my perspective, but it felt like it happened in the whole room. And then I was helping him grab something in Williamsburg.
What was the something that happened? Just magic?
It just happened. It was just our voices hit this one thing that never happened before, and it was like, oh. And I remember going to Williamsburg to pick up something with him. I don't even know what it was. And he looked at me and was like, "This is better than what I do." And I was like, "This is better than what I do." And then 6 months later, we were making a record.
That's a beautiful thing.
But,
Y'all said to each other.
There was
I
no
love that.
strategic. It was we had been, all of us, trying to do music and stuff like that. But basically, we came into the end process of these songs he was written as beautiful, and a lot of other ones. Like one of my favorite ones, I want like Dolly Parton, and I still have in my heart, I want Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers to cover it. It's called what is it called? You Don't Love Me Like You Used To, and some songs came at the end, but like a lot of that came from like just a one moment in his life we came into, and I'm still proud to be a part of those songs. You know what I mean?
My question was, how has that evolved, like to now? Are things, because now you are a band. Back then you were starting. Now you're four albums in. Dynamics probably have changed. You've grown. You've matured.
Yeah.
Like how is the songwriting on this last one versus what you just described?
Everybody writes, and we stay open to each other's ideas, and we stay open to each other's criticisms as best we can.
All of it.
And
real hard.
It's really hard picking what songs get on a record.
How do you go about doing that?
I don't even know.
It's like
It was the hardest.
it's like
It's
heartbreaking.
Macho Man Randy.
The
cut
process
one
of it this cycle was one of like the hardest.
That was the
band
question.
Because it's a
moments.
long record anyway.
I think,
Y'all
yeah.
like
Say that again, Kanene?
I think the process of doing it this go around was like one of the hardest like moments in our band probably.
Why?
I don't know. I think there's so many voices coming in kind of telling you what you should do, and it can just be really hard to like Brené says, like kind of the shame monsters start talking, and it can be hard to like really know what to listen to and to not take it personally, to really try to objectively look at the body of work and not let your feelings get involved. And for me, there's a song that I wrote with a little melody that Brian had and a line Brian had that was really close to me, and I'm just not very good at like sticking up for, if people believe in it, I'm like, great, that's great, but I'm not going to be like, no, this is great and you need to listen to it. That's just like not my personality. And that song, this go around, that was like really close to the chopping block, and I was getting really upset, and then they were like, if you want that song on the record, you just need to fight for it. And I was like, okay. And I really had to, get over that fear of just like fighting for something and maybe losing, but like just kind of get in the arena and not do like kind of a detachment of like, I don't even really care, like
that's your
whatever
that's
you
your
guys
protective
want.
thing, like,
Yeah.
oh well, I don't care anyway, fuck it. Like,
yeah, and I'm like a pretty chill person generally, like but this was one hill that I was like, I think I want to fight on this hill, like
And did it go on?
It did, yeah.
You weren't the only one fighting on that hill.
Oh, I know, but I had to do it, and I'm really grateful for that experience because I think, as like a woman, sometimes there's like this intrinsic thing that you've learned from observing culture that you're not supposed to do that, and you're just supposed to like be agreeable. And as like a generally agreeable person, like it's just hard for me, and so I'm grateful for the experience. But
what's that song called?
It's called Just Enough to Get By.
And how's that one go?
It's a weird song. It has a time signature change, but it's about my mom, and it says, if silence is golden, I know a lot of wealthy women buying what's been sold them, buy anything but freedom.
Wait, say that again?
If silence is golden, I know a lot of wealthy women buying what's been sold them, buy anything but freedom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an awesome lyric.
It's intense.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah. Other than that, it's just hard because, an album is all the songs. It's like so much life and so much work, and you remember what was happening when you were or weren't in the session, and it's hard to like strip all that away and just like let it be what it is. So
it's definitely like going down the rabbit hole and making the music is my favorite part of it.
Right.
I love being in it, and I love being frustrated and excited and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the hardest part, and I think it's almost the most, I think after this record cycle, I realized the best part is we've invited all these people in, and it's really hard because we invited a lot of people in this process. It used to be just like us and her husband making decisions. So like we invited all these people in this process, and it was really hard, but everything slowed down to a crawl, and we made sure we picked up every stone just to make sure we were like, and it's so hard to fight for a song that like, especially when it's your song, like it's the hardest, you know,
because you want people to go to your song like we
Yeah.
gotta put
Oh,
this
yeah.
song.
Yeah,
It's
like,
easy for me
just,
to like fight for one of their songs.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like the song.
No,
that's
it's
going
gotta
on.
be
Yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
of
Yeah, yeah.
course.
But when it's
yeah.
you, you're like, no, it's not.
Oh, this
It's
little
not.
thing, this little thing. Oh,
Don't
I
make me
barely
sing.
tried. Okay, yeah.
But I'm super thankful for that. I'm never gonna look forward to it.
They're
There's
coming
something
after
going
you,
on.
bro.
They found me.
I'm never gonna look forward to it. But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like where the shame comes in for me is actually having to dig through everything, and like see where my heart was postured towards certain songs and where I was coming from and why I was doing it, if it was for a good reason or a bad reason or anything. If I want to sing this song every night anyway,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And like when you turn over every stone, when the thing's done, you're like, we did everything we could do. And that's a very important thing, because these things, just for us, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just for me. Like this thing's gonna live, and it's gonna be a part of my family. It's gonna be a part of my friends, and I want to like say that I did everything I could to make sure like these things were like everything. I put everything on the table for it. You know what I mean? So I hate the process, that ending side of the process, but I think it's because it's really good. Part of the process, just to make sure you're doing the right things.
Yeah.
You know?
So how many people did you guys? When you say you invited other people in, like
He's
was
talking
it
about like
management?
management,
Team, label.
Yeah,
agents,
everybody.
labels.
Yeah, we had a new
Everybody
label this go
means
around.
really well.
Right.
And we love their input. I think at the end
Yeah.
of it, it's
Yeah.
Is the label trying to pull you in different directions?
Not in a mean way.
I think they were
but
just giving us a gut
think-
check, you know.
Yeah, I think. Well, the way that we made the record is we made the whole record and didn't let anybody hear it. And then we were like,
How many songs did you record for?
19.
19. So and 15 on it, right?
11 or 12?
I think there's more than
the
I think
intros
there's
and everything.
11, but then there's like the 3 piano tracks.
Oh,
I see.
yeah.
That are
'cause
just
on
kinda like-
iTunes it was like
Yeah.
14
I think
or
14,
15.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
I
did
think
like
it's
an
11
old rap
songs.
record move.
Oh, okay.
And we did an intro, interlude.
So you guys went through all that stuff, and then they threw on a bunch of extra songs
Ah.
anyway.
I know, right? They're like, it has to be 11 songs.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna put 16 songs.
Okay. But then also when you're doing that process, isn't somebody saying, well, we can make an EP of these other tracks? That's the other thing that people usually say. But then that sometimes never comes out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were all fully recorded songs.
Yeah.
And we loved all of them.
Right.
And then we had to, and there was a time where we were like, let's just pull a Drake
Let's
and
do a
have a
double record.
19-track album.
Yeah.
And then we were like, no, we've got to do this. What is this specific collection of songs trying to sound like and trying to say?
Yeah.
And I called them and I was like, all bets are off. Any song can get cut. Here we go. Let's do this. And it was awful. It was terrible. It was really hard, but it was worth it.
What
In my
was
opinion.
terrible about it for you?
Because the things that I was bringing up, I knew we were all emotionally attached to these songs.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, your song might not make it.
Right.
What? I thought we were friends, bro.
Right.
But I just wanted to do that. I wanted to pull the whole thing out. So like no favors were given.
Right.
And it was just like, we're going to let the record grow and become its own life. And we all got to open our eyes to what is that going to be. And that's really ambiguous. And
Yeah, I think it can be really painful because it's so subjective.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
it's like when you say let the best song win, everyone is going to have a different idea of what the best song is, you know.
Yeah.
And
So-
it wasn't let the best song win either. It was like, what is this canvas? What colors does this need? What?
Mhm.
What's the story and
Yeah.
everything? So what's going to happen to the rest of those songs? Do you
We're
know?
gonna release them.
You're gonna release them anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal. Y'all should have just
But when you-
relaxed.
I know.
That's
I
gonna
know.
be the next album.
Nobody
you know?
really cares anyway, right?
Well, you always feel like the EP is kind of like the I
The
don't know.
stepchild.
The
It's like the
stepchild.
sad little dog.
This
that's
EP
like,
is
"Hey."
not
Yeah.
Right.
No.
it's not.
Can
a
I make a
stepchild.
Bible reference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this story in the Bible where like I can't remember who, but somebody has 2 babies, and one of them is
Jacob and Esau.
Yeah, and one of the babies is like this little baby with hair all over
Esau.
his body. So like the EP maybe is like the little hairy baby, and then the other.
Take a break from reading the Bible.
He was.
He's microdosing and reading the Bible. That's crazy.
Yeah, but
Either
then
stop
later it
microdosing or
says,
stop
Jacob
reading
have
the
I
Bible.
loved, but God says, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So I
Yeah,
don't
dude,
want
no,
that.
the hairy guy was a bad dude.
Sometimes I wonder.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Or was his?
He was the villain.
check.
Well, he was
or
also
was
kind of
his, the other guy like
Jacob steals his birthright.
steals his birthright.
Yeah.
Everything you described about the process of cutting goes along with all the struggles you went recording and went in a different way. So it's like the whole project was you guys in turmoil trying something new, and the end result speaks for itself. Like you suffered, but it got you to a new level.
It's fun. Yeah, these guys came up and made a documentary of it,
Oh.
and there were so many times when the camera was on and I didn't know it, or we've just forgot. And then they sent us the 45-minute documentary the other day, and there was like all these little stupid fights happening, and it's because we were just like so nervous.
How do you guys deal with the stupid fights? That I was going to ask you that. Like what's your some kind of monster like therapist on the road?
I mean, some of them
for
want
keeping it together.
The one stupid fight unfortunately didn't make it the documentary.
Oh, man.
But the good fight was Brian's song "Wash It Clean," where we were used to a certain version of it, and then Dessner brought in this musical thing, and he just like lofted this like, if you don't use it, then like Vernon will use it or whatever, and we're like, what? And the next morning Brian came downstairs and was like, hey, I changed the music to fit this new thing that the producer wrote, and I think it's beautiful. And we were all like, what? And it was hard.
Well, you
I
didn't.
think you had wanted to write something to it as well.
Probably.
Oh, I
So
see.
there was
'Cause,
kind of
like,
like a little
I'm
scuffle over who
territorial.
gets
I have
the...
that competitive thing.
Yeah, well, some of that's good as long as you know how to.
Competitive's
As
good.
long as you know how to balance it and
Mhm.
like
Nothing wrong with
and not take it too personally and all
Yeah.
that. But like, so you got up early with like, I'm gonna get on that first.
No,
I see how he operates.
No, I had already.
But then he's all innocent and southern and nice, and it's
Sweet.
like, what, me, bro?
Bless-
You need to calm down.
Bless your heart.
Like,
Bless
what?
your heart.
I know you're dark.
Bless your heart.
I already see it.
No,
Crack the code.
I had done it the same thing with another one, August, and I didn't even know Zach was right. He wrote a really good poem to it too. But
I did?
yeah, you had a whole thing you had wrote for it.
There you go.
It's somewhere in your notes, but I did it already once with Aaron with a song called August, and I just like took the liberty, and it was hard because the first one I don't know. I love the singer-songwriter vibe. I've done it for a long time, so it sounded like that, and it was
Right.
beautiful. But I wanted something that
Something a little
like
more
like Paul
interesting.
Simon would do. Like these guys that I think are heroes. Like he takes something that was probably just a couple chords on the acoustic, and he makes it this art.
Yeah.
So like, and I was really excited about Aaron's music. So, and it was it's another one of those things, but I'm learning to embrace that. I'm not those things.
Embrace
Those are
what?
things I'm not letting that in, because those are the things I'm not good at. I'm not good at looking at myself and seeing those things that my friends see in me, or my
What do you mean?
my family, like my weaknesses.
Oh.
So like, I don't mind being checked because I'm not good at that. I need that.
Right.
And it's hard, but I'm learning to like just be open to it and not be so defensive, because in the end, I think if I can just like chill with it, like the end product's better always. It is better always.
Yeah. Are you guys like inspiring each other to like self-examine and be open?
Well, you
to
have
be
to, or
like,
you
I'm
don't.
not perfect. Like that's really
Major.
major, and kudos to both of you and you as well. I mean,
She's like Zen.
Yeah.
Me and Brian are trying to
she's-
get as
doesn't-
close to
yeah.
Kanene.
she's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
I got my own
He's super
issues.
chill.
I'm
Chill
sure
mode.
we all do. We're all a mess in
The
some kind
funny
of way.
in the documentary, though, I do have to say, the moment that I'm like confronting him,
Yeah.
I forgot the cameras were on, so I'm just like
Totally
picking my nose.
Right. Nice.
Letting one loose.
And so, but how do you guys have any kind of like rituals where like, okay, let's check in with each other once a week to see how everybody's doing? Like, how are you keeping the personal relationship of the band all together and harmonious, or is that just naturally occurring, or what?
I was actually thinking about this morning. I was like, it's time to start some sort of tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've been together for 9 years. We have the things that we know are important to each other, and they will come up naturally. Sometimes right before we sing a song at, where were we 2 days ago? Where I was like, hey, Kanene, here's this incredibly heavy thing that I have.
Here's this thing that I have believed about you for years that is incorrect.
What was it?
It was like some musical thing, singing.
Competitive thing that had not registered in my mind.
Oh, I see.
But I thought was a reality.
Oh, okay, right. You thought she was doing something that was competitive.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
Right.
And so I think it would be cool to have some sort of weekly
check-in.
There was definitely a while where I wanted us all to go to counseling together.
Yeah.
I still might do a Hail Mary for that.
We interviewed Steel Panther on this podcast.
Yeah.
You know who Steel Panther is? Anyway, the interesting thing, it was like funny podcast. Obviously, they're kind of comedic, spoof-ish, like heavy metal band type of thing. I hope they don't get insulted if I say spoof-ish.
No, they're serious musicians.
No, they're serious musicians, but it's like,
in character.
It's in a character thing. So, but they actually, it was surprisingly deep. Their whole thing of keeping it together, and like they have this policy where they are just very open if they have any issues with each other, and they like develop it over time because they've been together for 20-something years or something like that.
They meet after every show.
They talk.
Like, I didn't like what you did. It made me feel about everything after every show.
Wow.
Check out briefing. Yeah. Briefing.
Yeah. Like
we all grew up with VH1
behind the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being like, I don't want any part of that. That looks bad.
Right.
You got your
Now
documentary.
we're in the band, and it's like, how do we not do that?
I do think we do a good job of like talking about things quickly.
Right.
I'll have to like tell Zach that I need a second, but as long as I come back and we talk about it, but it needs to be like settled and you're not hanging over your head, so you can just move on like to the next thing. Like a lot of those things, like, and most of the time you didn't have enough food. You know,
right.
You're just missing your family, and you just need a second to just like breathe, and then you're like, oh, that wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to make sure you don't create another reality about your friends. And it ain't like the fact that we're doing this in a band ain't nothing special.
Yeah.
It's like, if you really want to know your friends, if you really want to like be known, you have to be vulnerable. I mean, it's ain't nothing special we're doing, you know. But I think it's important that people like do that, because like everybody acts like it feels like everybody feels like they're disconnected right now, and it's just like, just get to know your neighbor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just go outside and say hi to somebody.
Yeah.
Put down the Russian bot.
Isn't that funny that the Russian bot is keeping us more fragmented in some kind of way?
Yeah, man.
In some ways, it depends, I guess. Do you guys engage in social media and whatnot?
As much as we have to.
We have to.
Yeah.
Now, and that's.
I enjoy it.
I don't mind it.
Every now and then.
I never imagined.
Can you tell them your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is Zoner Outer.
Mm-hmm. That's not.
And I have like the worst Instagram account of all time.
Right.
Who runs?
I have a hashtag that says unfollow and one that says zero likes. I just take the dumbest pictures of.
Yeah.
I just get mad and just.
Yeah.
How about that?
Zoner Outer, I'm going to follow that.
You should.
Yeah, I'm going to like every photo just to spite you.
He's going to like.
I'm going to start liking and
photos
comment.
that are a year older.
I'm going to comment with heart eyes and shit like that.
Like, I want to start taking
a little yogi emoji.
Yeah, like the exactly.
I want to start taking pictures of my kids and putting them on just to like be another boring stupid Instagram account that has pictures of people's
But like
kids.
bad pictures of your kids.
Yeah.
You mentioned kids. Between you guys, there's a lot of kids.
It's like
And
35
and your
kids?
husband goes on the road with you. Who watches the kids? How does that affect your touring, the whole family life? That's changed since the first album.
Woo. Well, Zach has 4 kids, and you had kids when we started
Crazy.
touring. Brian has 2.
That's 6.
I have 1. He's 2.5.
7.
And we
kids.
started touring. He was like 8 weeks old.
Wow.
And my husband and I are both in the band, so he was on the road with us that whole time. And my sister comes out and
She helps. She
and
stays
has
with them.
helped out with him. Yeah. So continuing in that vein. And do you know those people?
Mm-hmm.
You're waving at them. I hope you know 'em.
Fans that found out they're
It's
here.
like Brian's man crush.
Who?
Loves him.
There's a man crush. Girl?
No, shh.
I love a man
Stop.
crush. Come on.
So 7 kids. How long do you try to keep the
Little
touring
5
for 2
points.
weeks at a time, or
Yeah, we try. I feel. Do we say like 2 weeks and under generally?
I think
We try, but
It's like 2.5-ish.
then some family time and then back?
But
We
now,
try to not
now
be
that we're in
gone
a
for more
bus,
than
it's
3.
it's a little different. Back when we were in a van, we were in a van, and they were like 3 weeks is normal, and we were like, no, it's not. But now that we're in a bus, there's like different options. Like one of my kids could jump out on the road with us over the summer, or you guys are together on the road, and but yeah, it would be great to sell more tickets per show and then maybe play a little less shows.
Yeah.
And have more family time. That would be a great little arch.
But you guys doing Troubadour, Fillmore, that's like high level, man. It's awesome.
Dude, we're grateful for
Yeah,
real.
no,
We
it's
are grateful.
it's awesome. Congratulations on it. Are your folks proud, and is there any kind of response from the
Speaking of social
Wait,
media.
what's up? Let me hear it.
My dad is probably already listening to this podcast. I don't even know how.
Right. Wow, so he's
but
way
he has
in.
accessed the future. And
Wow.
Can do it.
What's your dad's name?
Dan
Dan.
Donehey. Dan
What's
the
up,
man.
Dan? How you doing, bro?
Finest realtor in all of Northern Virginia.
Let's give Dan a shout out. Let's do a little ad for Dan. What's his company called?
He's with Coldwell Banker.
All right, Dan.
Coldwell Banker Elite.
From Coldwell Banker Elite. Call Dan.
Honestly, my
1-800
dad is so
Buy shit.
My dad is so gifted in enthusiasm. Like
Gifted.
Enthusiasm he has in spades. And
Everything
he's-
happens from enthusiasm.
yeah.
Enthusiasm means like Latin for full of God.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
My
never knew
dad
that.
he's really such an amazing, interesting, complex person, and like I would not be the risk taker that I am without him in my life.
Wow.
For sure. He's
That's
just
great.
like he wants his kids to just like
Kill it.
live life, and he's so excited about things before there's any like official, buzz or anything, He recorded me and my brother singing a CD in our living room, and he would give that to everyone, and it was terrible.
Right.
But he was just like so pumped his kids wanted to do anything.
By the way, I think I just scared the tallest man on earth out of the art gallery.
I think you did.
Oh, was that?
I met him at Newport.
Brian, you did this.
I was just like,
Who
You did
was
this.
it?
You did this twice. You went. And then I don't think he waved, and
I
then
guess
you
he
went.
did
he's
know
like,
the
that
people
guy's
that
a
walked in.
psycho. I'm gonna walk out of
Yeah,
here.
I was like, what is wrong?
What just happened?
I met him
don't
a
know.
couple times. It wasn't a thing.
Oh.
He just didn't.
He didn't put it together.
For the listeners, there's people walking through the gallery as we were.
So I
Yeah,
think
the
I-
tallest
I
man
think I
on earth
scared
just
him
walked
away.
through.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
And what about y'all's folks?
We love your music if you're listening.
Mhm. My folks are proud of me now.
Yeah.
When I was like up here in New York, like playing the bars,
Mm.
they were like, "What are you doing
Right.
for a
A
decade?"
good while.
So
Until
It's nice
yesterday
now.
when the album dropped.
Yeah.
They were real proud when you were working at G-Star, though, right?
dude, I
You
used to
work
fold.
some G-Star? Can you get me a discount off of that?
Bro, I used
I
to.
got I
I
got a
wasn't
hole in my
allowed- I
pants, bro.
wasn't
I need some
allowed
new
to-
G-Stars, dude.
I wasn't allowed upstairs. I folded the jeans in the basement.
G-Star have the are they the bedazzled jeans?
I need some
they're like-
bedazzled,
They're
dude.
I
like
think
the
bedazzled are in
angry-
there, dude.
like German army jeans.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
This was like 2006, you guys. Come on. I didn't wear them.
What about you, Brian? Your folks?
I think my folks, I'm kind of thankful because they had their parents a little extra. My dad heard me on the radio in Texas, and he was just happy that I had a career. And my mom is really proud that I make money for a living.
Oh,
Nice. That's
and
cool.
I kind of like it. Like she's
a little
excited.
bit, a little bit.
She's excited, but she didn't.
Not all
She
up
doesn't
on
get
it.
all in it. You
Not
know?
like Dan over there.
I mean,
no, my dad will like troll our.
I wrote this song
family.
called
Yeah,
Watch
and
Your-
my dad
yeah.
will like compete literally
Yeah, they
of like
will.
who's the more proud on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they get like that?
A little bit.
My
That's
father-in-law,
funny.
my
They're both
father-in-law's joined
That's
in with
crazy.
them, actually. My father-in-law's joined in with them. So
Oh,
I do have
yeah.
one.
That's
Old Ron
fun.
Beard.
It's a
That's
throwdown.
King
It
of
is.
Marriott.
Throwdown of
points.
support.
He's- Ron
They should
Beard
start
knows
a
everything
Facebook
about
group
Marriott
for the
points.
parents.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Support crew.
No,
So-
we're grateful for him.
Yeah,
Well, you guys, it's been great talking with
Yeah.
you.
It's
man.
yeah,
been
man.
great,
It's
man.
been so fun.
Love
And
it.
congratulations on the record.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sounds amazing.
I think I'm gonna push this pod up and try to release it today, since the album came out today.
Thank you.
Cool, thanks, man.
Wow.
Maybe by
Congrats on
by
the
end of
Congrats
exhibition.
on this.
This
Thank
is
you.
beautiful.
So beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Dude, Sugar Ray back here.
And
Yeah,
if
yeah.
any of the
Boom,
listeners
boom,
were
man.
I like the
curious,
scapegoat, too.
Oh, thanks. He's the hit.
Bow Wow
He's
was
the
from
hit.
Columbus,
The hit.
Ohio.
Columbus. Thank you for
Oh, okay.
Bow Wow's Columbus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the
Still-
Bow Wow and Jenny's ice cream, right?
Still Ohio. All right,
Yeah.
everyone.
Good luck
Yeah.
on the
Thanks, man.
road.
Good luck on
Thank
the
you.
roads. Travel
Thank you.
safe.
All right.
See
See
y'all
ya.
later.
Bye.
Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come-to-where-I'm-from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.